This is the story of how darkness became a tomb for some of the world's bravest explorers. In 2018, the world watched as 12 boys and their coach were miraculously rescued from Thailand's Tham Luang cave. But not all cave stories end with survival. Today, I'm sharing 3 of the most terrifying caving disasters in history. Our first story takes us to the depths of Utah's Nutty Putty Cave. In November 2009, 26-year-old medical student John Edward Jones decided to explore this popular cave system with his brother. John was experienced. He'd been caving since childhood. But that night, he made a fatal mistake. While navigating the cave's tight passages, John mistook a narrow, unexplored tunnel for a route called the Birth Canal. He crawled headfirst into the 10-inch wide passage, about the size of a washing machine door. After sliding down 150 feet into the tunnel, John became hopelessly stuck upside down in a vertical position. His chest was compressed, making it nearly impossible to breathe. Rescuers worked for 28 straight hours to free him. At one point, they almost succeeded using a pulley system, lifting him 12 inches before the equipment failed, sending him back deeper into the crevice. John spoke with rescuers throughout most of his ordeal, even managing to call his pregnant wife. But hanging upside down for hours caused fatal pressure on his heart and lungs. John died shortly before midnight on November 25, 2009. The recovery was deemed too dangerous. Officials sealed the cave permanently with John's body still inside, a final resting place 400 feet below ground. Our second disaster happened in 2014 at Norway's Plura Cave, one of Europe's most challenging underwater cave systems. A team of 5 Finnish divers attempted to navigate this treacherous underwater labyrinth that plunges over 430 feet beneath a frozen lake. The dive required swimming through pitch-black, near-freezing water for hours, with only a guideline connecting them to safety. About 500 feet into the dive, at a depth of 130 feet, disaster struck. Diver Patrick Gronquist watched in horror as his teammate Jari Hutarinen became stuck in an extremely narrow section. Patrick tried desperately to help, but Jari panicked, a fatal response at such depths. By the time Patrick managed to free him, Jari had already drowned. As the surviving divers attempted to navigate back, another diver, Jari Usamaki, also succumbed to panic and drowned. The remaining 3 survivors faced a grueling journey back through freezing water, knowing their friends' bodies remained behind. What makes this disaster particularly haunting? One of the survivors, Kai Kankinen, had lost his diving partner in another cave just a year earlier. Despite witnessing that tragedy, he returned to the depths only to lose 2 more friends. Perhaps the most devastating caving disaster in modern history happened in 1967 at England's Mossdale Caverns. 6 young men, all experienced cavers in their 20s, ventured into this notorious system in Yorkshire on a summer morning. What they didn't account for was the weather. A sudden, violent storm flooded the cave while they were deep inside. A fellow caver who had turned back earlier alerted authorities when the group failed to return. Over 300 rescuers mobilized in what became Britain's largest cave rescue operation. When rescuers finally reached the Mossdale system, they discovered it completely flooded. For 3 days, they pumped water and navigated treacherous passages. Eventually, they found all 6 bodies nearly a mile inside the cave. The victims had desperately tried to escape rising waters, with evidence showing they'd attempted to climb to higher passages. The coroner concluded they died from hypothermia and drowning. The tragedy remains Britain's worst caving disaster, and the bodies of Dave Adamson, Jim Cunningham, Bill Frakes, Jeff Borrow, John Ogden, and Michael Ryan still rest in Mossdale Caverns, which was sealed after recovery attempts proved too dangerous. What connects these tragedies? The unforgiving nature of caves themselves. Unlike mountain climbing or ocean diving, caves offer no natural light, no GPS signals, and often only one way out. When things go wrong underground, help can be hours or days away. The 2014 incident at Thailand's Pattaya Exhibition Cave demonstrates this perfectly. 17 students and 2 teachers became trapped when floodwaters blocked the exit. Despite being just 700 feet from the entrance, the group was stranded for hours as waters continued rising. Thankfully, all were eventually rescued, unlike our previous stories. Perhaps the most psychologically terrifying aspect of cave disasters is how they unfold in absolute darkness. In 1952, Floyd Collins, an experienced cave explorer, became trapped while searching for new passages in Kentucky's Sand Cave. His foot was pinned by a 27-pound rock in a tight tunnel. For 18 days, rescuers and journalists maintained contact with Floyd, bringing him food and water through the narrow passage. The nation followed his plight through daily newspapers. Then a cave-in cut off access. Floyd died alone in total darkness, just feet from his would-be rescuers. His body wasn't recovered until 2 months later. These tragedies haven't stopped explorers from venturing underground. Just last year, teams descended into Mexico's Sistema of Huatla, the deepest cave system in the Western Hemisphere, at over 5,000 feet deep. Cave diving pioneer Sheck Exley once said, "The difference between an adventure and an ordeal is attitude." But for those lost in Nutty Putty, Plura, Mossdale, and countless other caves worldwide, the line between adventure and disaster proved razor-thin. Their stories remind us that beneath our feet lies a wilderness as dangerous as any mountain peak or ocean depth, a darkness that doesn't always surrender its explorers back to the light. Next time you hear about cave explorers pushing the boundaries of human endurance, remember these stories, testaments to both human courage and nature's unforgiving power. In the words of caver Neil Moss before his fatal 1959 expedition, "If I get stuck, just leave me there." The caves listened. These cave explorations will haunt your nightmares forever. The McCoy mine in Nevada looked like any other abandoned silver and gold mine until YouTuber Connor Kelly made a disturbing discovery. While exploring 5,400 feet above sea level with 3 friends, Connor's flashlight revealed something reflecting light deep within the cave. As they approached, they found a deliberate pile of children's shoes mixed with various bones. Most shoes had 80s-style designs, carefully arranged alongside skeletal remains of what appeared to be animals, possibly coyotes or deer. Connor contacted police, but they dismissed it. Was this an elaborate prank requiring tremendous effort, or something far more sinister? This echoes a horrifying case from 1900s Michigan, where a murderer hung his victims' tiny shoes from tree branches as trophies. The McCoy mine mystery remains unsolved, with few innocent explanations possible. If tight spaces terrify you, John Edward Jones' story will make you shudder. This 26-year-old medical student, experienced cave explorer, and father entered Utah's Nutty Putty Cave on November 24, 2009, with his brother Josh and several relatives. About an hour into their expedition, John mistook a narrow passage for the birth canal section. He crawled headfirst into an extremely tight space, just 10 inches wide and 8 inches tall. When he realized his mistake, it was too late. He couldn't turn around or back out. John tried exhaling completely to squeeze through, but when he inhaled again, he became permanently wedged. Worse, he slid further down, becoming trapped upside down, 400 feet inside and 100 feet below ground. Being upside down creates a deadly situation. Blood rushes to the brain, organs compress each other, and the heart struggles against gravity. Over the next 24 hours, more than 100 rescuers attempted to save him using an elaborate pulley system. The rescue nearly succeeded until one pulley suddenly failed. With no backup plan and John's heart failing after hours upside down, he was pronounced dead shortly after midnight on November 25th. Perhaps most chilling, his body was never recovered. John remains there forever, with Nutty Putty Cave permanently sealed 1 week after his death. The Malheur Cave in Oregon initially appears ordinary until you notice something bizarre. Bleachers lining both sides deep underground. YouTuber Water Skipper revealed this strange site, immediately sparking questions about potential underground rituals. The explanation is surprisingly mundane, yet fascinating. For decades, the Masonic Lodge of Burns owned this cave, using it for their private meetings. They maintained the space until 2019, when excessive vandalism forced them to gate the entrance. Still, conspiracy theories persist about satanic rituals and devil worship occurring in this subterranean meeting place. Perhaps most disturbing is Kenny Veach's disappearance. This experienced caver and YouTuber vanished in 2014 while searching for what he called the M Cave near a top-secret airbase. During his first visit, Kenny experienced a terrifying phenomenon. His entire body began vibrating intensely, growing worse the deeper he ventured. When online commenters challenged his story, Kenny reluctantly returned to the cave. He was never seen again. Searchers found only his phone at an abandoned mine entrance. Some believe Kenny discovered a secret government facility entrance near Area 51, explaining the strange vibrations as a deterrent system. A YouTuber named Abandoned Mines 11 later found what might be the M Cave, now walled off with an Area 51 warning sign nearby, plus wood planks and an unlabeled beer bottle possibly belonging to Kenny. Whether Kenny uncovered something he shouldn't have, met with an accident, or disappeared for other reasons remains one of the internet's most chilling mysteries. What other secrets lie beneath the Earth's surface, waiting to be discovered? And how many explorers have ventured into darkness, never to return?